Shalom, this is Jonathan Feldstein with the Genesis 123 Foundation. I am having really the true privilege of just meeting Elan Tiv, who is the daughter of a hostage currently being held in Gaza, whose name is Kieth Siegel. Keith is an American, a dual citizen, American Israeli, and he was taken hostage along with his wife, who fortunately was released after 51 days. But Keith is still there. And Elan, honestly, it's really emotional for me to speak to you, but I'm very grateful for you making the time today to tell us about your father and help us as we begin an hour of prayers for the hostages who are still being held, your father specifically, and for you and your family. Can you tell us about your father?
Yes, my dad is 64. In a few days, he will be 65, and he's an American citizen. He grew up in Chapel Hill in North Carolina, and when he was 21, he came to Israel and married my mom, and they lived in Kibbutz Kfar Aza for almost around 40 years. I have three siblings, and my dad is a loving father, and he's a really gentle person. He likes people. He's a people person. He likes to listen. He likes to talk to people, and he really loves music, all kinds of music. He has five grandchildren, and he's an amazing grandpa. His grandkids really wait for him to come back home and play with them and laugh with them and go to hikes in Israel, which we love to do.
You know, my son was called up on October 7th, and October 8th, he was in Kfar Aza. He's a paratrooper. And one of the things that was so hard for me about him being called up and then eventually going into Gaza is not knowing where he is and what's going on. I know you don't know. I mean, you know from your mother who's sitting next to you, and she's obviously shared many of the experiences. I don't know if they were together or not, but this not knowing, how do we as Jews and Christians together pray for your father and pray for the 132 other hostages who are still being held, not knowing their situation?
So I can share with you what we do as family. We do two things. One is we picture him in our minds, in our thoughts, and smiling and with other people around him. We really try to imagine, picture him in our heads and in our thoughts as surviving this moment in the very best, if you can say. And the other thing is we send him we send him powers or send him energies, and we really say it out loud that we wish him that we wish that he eats food that fills his stomach and that he can sleep at night, and he believes that he will come home as soon as possible. And we all do it, like the grown-ups and the kids send him those powers and energies and really believing that he's getting them.
That's very helpful and very emotional. And even though we don't know your father, we will be posting pictures and pictures of the other hostages so people can imagine them at the peak of their lives with their families, celebrating and being strong and praying that they'll be back to you very, very soon. One more thing, Elan, how do we pray for you, for your family, for all of the other hostage families? I know it's heartbreaking. I know I can't imagine honestly how you get through the day, but how do we pray for you?
So first, I would say that the prayer of our loved ones being back to us as soon as possible, and that somehow the leaders of this world and this region will have the ability to bring them home to their families. And for us, I guess to stay positive, to believe. The one of the hardest things for us is to keep the hope, to keep it in our minds and really feel it, because sometimes it goes away. And to stay together, to feel the power and feel the people that love us, support us at this time, like you all doing, to stay strong and stay in a belief that we can do more all the time, that they would come home.
Well, you've definitely guided us, and I know that there's so much more that we can and will be praying about. And I'm grateful for you taking these few minutes to help us do that. And I look forward, and I know I speak on behalf of all the thousands of people who are participating in this global prayer for Israel, that we look forward also to celebrating with you and your father in his 65th birthday and many, many, many other birthdays and happy occasions with you as a family together, God willing.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Elan. We're praying for you.